Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences so you don't have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. None of my content should be viewed as financial advice. If you like what my content offers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications so you get notified when I publish new content. It really helps the channel grow and get the content to others that might find it helpful. Today we're going to talk about the Troller coin. It's a very interesting project. There's some grammatical type things that made this project incredibly difficult to review. Plus, it's got a lot going on. But to sum it up, it's a competition website for NFTs. And its project is dedicated to that goal, which is cool. It's a cool idea. It's a cool concept. I'm not aware of anybody else that's doing that, so they've gone with a unique take on this particular project. I really like the opening graphics. It's phenomenal, and we'll get into some of the website here in a minute. First though, a little bit about it. So it's got 1 quadrillion tokens. It is a BEP20, so it's on your Binance Smart Chain, which means you've got those low fees instead of those high fees with the Ethereum network. We're going to look at CoinGecko today instead of CoinMarketCap because there was a weird issue with the CoinMarketCap website. When you go to look at the holders, it doesn't navigate you to the right particular area to see that information. It's not the actual token, so it navigates you someplace else. I alluded to that in my previous video where I mentioned this token. So CoinGecko takes you to the right place just to make it easier. It's one less click. But for somebody that has been watching my videos, especially as a newbie, you're going to get there and you're going to see a whole bunch of zeros if you use the CoinMarketCap website. And you're going to be a little confused about what are you looking at because it looks different than every other token that you've ever clicked on. And it's just a weird thing that they've got set up with CoinMarketCap on where it navigates to. And I've seen this before on other tokens. I just wanted to confirm that there wasn't something I was missing. But yes, CoinGecko works just fine. So we're going to use that for today when we look at the price and the holders. Now let's go ahead and just jump into the website. So quite a bit going on. Now this website is set up where you've got to go through and click these to get more information. So scrolling down will give you certain things, but you do need to go through and navigate these as well to get some of the other information. They've got a pretty good white paper, but the white paper is really a lot of the same things from the website, which is common with a lot of these projects. Let's first start on this main page here. Again, you can see some pretty good graphics. I enjoyed the entrance to this. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. They've got a promo video. And the promo video is almost 7 minutes long, so we're not going to watch this particular video. And it really does a pretty good job of covering a lot of the stuff that's in this particular project. So I recommend watching it because it'll give you a pretty good snapshot of what's laid out on the website. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going here. So the father of all meme coins is going to be the Troller. And I want to take a look at this introduction for a second because this is one of the problems I ran into when I was reviewing this website is that the way that they wrote it, and it's not necessarily, well, it isn't grammatically correct, that's for sure, but the way they wrote it, it made it really complex because you have to break it down and think about things differently than just normal grammatical reading. And this was present throughout the entire website and the white paper. So for somebody that is annoyed by grammatical stuff, this is going to be a challenge for those people. And I know that the project's trying to keep things fun, but it's going to be a challenge for some people that are used to reading books and magazines and things that are just grammatically and written in a certain way. I don't know how else to put it. It took me a while to figure out what it was about this website that was making it a challenge to go through, and that's what it was, is that normally there's complete sentences and things are grammatically correct on most projects, and that wasn't the case on this particular one. And it's a stylistic thing to some degree on how they set up their website, and a lot of people are going to be fine with that. It's just going to be a challenge for others to get through. So let's read this and I'll try to explain. The Troller is the father of all meme coins, and he will be coming out to the crypto space with a solid plan that combines an NFT gaming platform that will take the NFT space by storm. Combines an NFT gaming platform. So I'm trying to get through the combination aspect of this portion. So combining what, right? So that's where if you're reading this thing detailed and you're trying to get a good comprehension of what you're reading, that's what's popping in your head is what's being combined, NFTs and gaming. It's written as though it's an NFT gaming platform, but it doesn't explain the combination very well, at least in that portion of this sentence, right? Fully community focused. Again, it's not combining anything other than maybe attributes of the system. And then a capital H followed by a comma implies a new sentence, but it's not really. It's just kind of a continuation. And I think what they're trying to draw attention to is helping is getting emphasis. There's just some weird stylistic stuff. And this isn't that bad. There's many other areas that are more like this and more difficult to get through. Again, this is kind of a stylistic, grammatical type thing it's going to be a challenge for some people. That's just my 2 cents. And I like the project. I'm being critical because there are some people that are going to read this and say, what were you thinking? And there's going to be a lot of other people that watch this video and say, no, there's nothing wrong with that. And both perspectives are right. Because there's a stylistic aspect that isn't going to be appealing to all the people that are going to come to look at this website. It's just a reality. You can't make everybody happy. I'm just pointing out what the problem is. When people read things and they read things critically, they're looking for sentence structure to make some sort of a logical sense. So if you've got a bullet list, that's different, right? So if you've got bullets, you can have single ideas in a bullet. Or you can have a string of single ideas, but then you wouldn't necessarily have a capitalized letter there. You would try to draw attention to it in a different way. Maybe if that's what they're trying to do here, and again, I don't know. There's a lot of examples of that particular issue of weird capitalization choices just kind of thrown in sentences, and it makes it a challenge to read. So I'm gonna move on for this, but there's a lot of that in this particular project. So if you look at stuff like that and that drives you nuts, you're going to have a problem with this particular project. But get through that, and when you get through that, the project itself is pretty good. It's just doesn't have a security audit to kind of give you the heads up on that before we get into it. So let's keep going. Helping the NFT space get mass adoption, many surprises and big rewards, and they do have big rewards. Let me tell you, when you go through this thing, they got some big rewards planned. And finally, prove that meme coins can be a real project that with a use case that coins. See what I'm saying? It's just some funky stuff that you're trying to read through the sentence and you're expecting words to flow in a certain way, and there's things missing. A use case that brings added value to the crypto space. From here on out, I'm not going to talk about the grammatical or the spelling stuff. That's just something that some people are going to have problems with. Now, the Trello will be an awesome ecosystem. It has artists, NFTs, the competition is awesome. If you like competition style tournaments, you're going to like the idea behind this, and I do too. It's interesting. Combining the fun, championship, entertainment, NFT collectors, rewards, and sponsors. Sponsors is pretty cool, and well, we'll get into that when we get there. And their goals: to create a unique meme coin that will stay for 100 years. So they got a lot of goals, and they do. This is a big project, and that's why it took me a little bit extra time to review it. The actual competition process, and again, the video, if you watch through this, it's going to walk you through a lot of this and a lot more. 7 minutes is a long video, so they cover a lot of stuff in that 7-minute video. And some of the rewards. So a full Bitcoin. Now imagine a Bitcoin is $100,000 potentially by the end of the year. I mean, it's right now, I think it's right around $60,000. A winner gets 60 grand. I kind of wish I knew how to do NFTs. The e-commerce portion where you can buy some stuff. They do plan on doing an airdrop. I think they've already done that, or they might be rolling it out more. The dates for everything wasn't necessarily listed throughout this thing, but it mentioned as far as their launch for the token, which was only a few days ago. They were going to do airdrops. Now here's another cool part. So the multi-chain support. And this is on the roadmap as well, on some of the places that they're going to try to bring this over to the Ethereum network, and so they've got an ambitious plan for this token. So it's a pretty cool plan. Now, some of the things that I thought were really innovative were the foreign burn mechanism. So 2% for every single transaction, NFT application fees, all NFT sales, all merch item sales. So potentially this is going to burn a lot of tokens if it takes off. It'll be interesting to see with 1 quadrillion tokens how fast they burn through their supply, because that seems like a lot. Now, how many people are doing NFTs? I don't know. It's still a growing market, but it's growing. It's getting bigger, and there's quite a few NFT producers out there right now, and it's only going to get bigger. 5% of all NFT sales, 10% of their merch. Now, a lot of people don't buy merch. Generally, you'll have a lot of your core investors that are going to do merch. Somebody that's trying to get the information to their friends and their family, and people that they see, they're probably going to buy a lot of the merch as well. But it won't be something that generates a large revenue, I don't think. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it will. But I just don't see there's a huge niche for specific token merch beyond really the first, the growing process. So as the troller is growing, that's the population that's generally going to buy the merch, except for at potentially the live events, which it sounds like they've got that planned as well. That could generate a lot of merchandise revenue, if that's also part of their plan. So this lays out all the different social media locations where they're set up. And you'll notice here, they're on YouTube. So if you click on the YouTube link here, you can actually see some of the videos that they've already put out for their token. So they have their own YouTube channel for posting material, which is pretty cool. Now you'll notice here that they don't have Discord. So I say this a lot of times throughout the course of the video, but I know that not everybody watches the videos all the way to the end. So I'm going to say it up front a little bit here. I don't usually go beyond Twitter and Discord. So Telegram, I get a lot of comments about projects that don't usually do as well in the review process, that say, well, if you looked at Telegram, you would have found the answers to all those things, or they've doxed themselves, or they've done this, or they've done that. I don't look at Telegram. It's, in my opinion, it's not a really good source for information. It's great for doing an AMA, but that's about it. It's just not it's not some place I go look for information about a token. I look at their website, I look at their Discord, and I look at their Twitter feed. Those are the 3 that I really focus on. Now in this case, they got a YouTube channel, so obviously I'm going to look at their YouTube channel, but I don't necessarily look at everything else. And most of this stuff, and I'll look at LinkedIn too for the people that are for the team, but I really don't look at, I definitely don't look at Telegram. Now what's interesting here is they launched the China one, which I don't think they can participate since pretty much everything except for their coin has been blocked in that country for the most part, or that's where it's kind of going in China. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually get any representation in China for it, but I don't see why they couldn't, as long as China doesn't block it, and they're pretty good at blocking stuff, so I suspect that it's probably not going to be available in China. But I did like the YouTube channel. I think that's a great idea, because they can specifically cover things that are relevant to their token right on their own channel. It's not a bad idea. Now, as you can see, their team is doxed, so they've got quite a bit of their team actually doxed on this website. So that checks that mark, which means that they stand by their project. And I like that. That's always a big focal point for my videos, is a team that dox themselves and believes in their project to the point that they do that. And what you'll notice here is that most of these people actually have experience in other projects. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. A lot of times people will get into projects and then branch off and start their own project, because they've now learned kind of how the process of setting a token up works and what's needed, and they make it better, or they attempt to make a project better. And they've got all the LinkedIn. I looked at a couple of them on here. It really doesn't say much more than what's on the page here, but feel free to click all those too if you want to get to know the team a little bit better. Now here's something that on the competition tab, and it's in the white paper too. So here's where I kind of got confused again, because there's a disconnect between what the video on the first page says and what is repeatedly mentioned throughout the website. The Troller is the first competition NFT marketplace, tournament gaming style, and it's dedicated to themed trolls and meme NFTs. Now, here's where you run into a weird wording choice. Is it all NFTs? Because you look at some of the video content and the NFTs are pretty much anything that you would classify as art or really anything. But when you read through these things, is it just trolls? Because trolls are a specific thing. Now, themed means, Robin Hood as a troll. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things you could do for themed trolls. And then memes, well, again, that's not necessarily all NFTs. So I think the wording's a little off, and I had to keep going and looking around to see if I was just wrong. But after watching the video, because I do the same thing everybody else is going to do, is you're going to open up the webpage and go watch the video. And that was confusing to me. So I think what they mean is just NFTs. Maybe there's going to be a specific project for trolls, and maybe there's going to be a specific competition for memed NFTs, but I think what they meant to say was all NFTs. And again, bringing talented NFT artists to compete in order to create the best NFT troll or meme for the chosen guest. So it's very specific about what you're trying to create as part of this. At least that's how I interpret it. And again, maybe it's just me, but I suspect there's going to be others that are going to say you're really narrowing the focus of this marketplace down to a very specific subset. And I don't think that was their intention. So I'm going to make the assumption that all NFTs are fair, because their video kind of says that. It doesn't specifically say, it doesn't limit it like this does. And I suspect that they created the website first and then they created the video. And it's not consistent, and it's just not consistent between their website and their white paper. Now let's keep navigating down. Now we're going to see that we've got the actual process here for the competition. So this kind of walks you through that. Again, it's laid out pretty well in the video as well, but if you don't want to skip the video, and this is the process, and then you can come down here and see the rewards. And again, not bad rewards, especially if you can win first place. And then there'll be an All-Stars Championship as well. And if you really are ambitious, you can get these early access NFTs, and you get to get into the process 24 hours before everybody else. Now, if you're an NFT person out there, you're really going to like these NFT commissions. 30% commission will be applied to all NFT sales on the platform. 20% voters, 5% buyback and burn, and 5% marketing. That's a pretty good sized commission. I don't know. I have no idea what's the standard commission for NFTs right now. So maybe that's low, maybe that's high. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen any site quite like this, but I suspect that's kind of high. And then the eligibility for the rewards. Community members vote in all competition rounds in order to be eligible to receive part of the NFT sales commission, starting for the guests voting till the final rounds. There's a 5% fixed artist copyright commission on all sales forever, which is awesome. That's pretty good. 5% is I think it's comparable to some other projects that I've read. And that's it for the competition side. So quick sponsors and exclusive sponsors. So they have two different breakdowns of how sponsors work with different requirements for each. If you're looking to be a sponsor, this is probably relevant for you to take a look at. I'm not going to go beyond just introducing it to it, but I like the idea of sponsors. It'll be interesting to see how successful the sponsored events are moving forward. Since these types of things generally are pretty successful in getting the information out there, I think it'll probably be challenging at the very onset of this particular project, but it'll probably grow and get bigger over time. That's what I would think was going to happen. Now, influencers, they've got quite a few, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know who any of them are. I don't keep up on influencers. I don't really keep up with this kind of stuff in my day-to-day life. So if you recognize these people, then these are the influencers. And apparently they've got a lot of followers. 2.6 million followers. That's a lot of people that are potentially getting exposed to this project. It definitely has the potential to accelerate the adoption of this project over time. Now, unlike influencers, I actually recognize some of these celebrities. I mean, it's kind of hard not to recognize people from The Voice. I think just about everybody in the US has probably watched at least one episode of The Voice. I recognized a couple from this particular section. and that's probably going to help this project as well. Generally, for meme tokens, the influencers and the celebrities that go out there and endorse it do propel these tokens to pretty good heights. So that's not necessarily going to hurt the project, that's for sure. But there's a diminishing returns on influencers because, and same thing with celebrities, because people have heard it. After the first couple of times, you have to continue to keep pushing more influencers and more celebrities to back the project. Unless you're Elon Musk. His tweets have a tendency to change the entire market. Now, events, I skipped past that. They've got some different events that they're participating in. It's worth taking a look at because there's 3 or 4 of them. I think one of them has already passed based off the last time I looked at it. But let's jump in the roadmap. I prefer when they indicate when something's done, just so that you know that things are completed. I'm going to make an assumption that some of these things are already done because we're looking at the concept. So the idea is done, team building looks like it's done. Platform creation, smart contract development, they've got a token, so yes, they've got this. It makes sense that they would do DNFT World Partnerships because part of the team came from DNFT. The airdrop campaign, branding. So again, there's a lot on here, a lot of things that they're working on. Now there's 2 audits listed. But you'll notice on the website that there aren't any audits, so I don't think these are done yet, which makes sense because we're in Q4 and it might not be completely done at this point, depending on when they started it. What a lot of projects like to do is, depending on who they're doing the audit with, if it's an CertiK, so for example, if it's a CertiK audit, you can put a link to the audit on here and it'll show in progress. Now, depending on, again, who they went through for their audit, that might not be possible. But my recommendation is if the audit is in work, then put the link to a screen that shows that it's in work. Or if it's already complete, put that up, because that shows that if somebody invests, they're not going to lose all their money because there's not an issue with the contract. Now, I'm going to make an assumption that they're getting information from the team that's doing the audit and making corrections on the spot to ensure that while people are buying it now, that their money's safe. That's a big assumption though, because that's not always how things work. And then you can kind of look through the rest of this blockchain European event. Again, there's one in Hamburg, I think, and then a second audit. Now, why 2 audits in the same quarter? So that's, I'm glad they're doing an audit. I'm doubly glad that they're doing a second audit. It's just kind of confusing why you would need 2 audits that close together in the same quarter, other than to make sure that investors think that the token's safe. I mean, that makes sense that could be what they're waiting for or why they're doing that. And then weekly token burn, I'm not sure why it needs to be on there twice, and I would assume if it's weekly that it continues weekly. I like that it goes all the way to the end of 2022. And you can see they've got their competition web application starting up, their merch, the rewards, and then what I really like, Ethereum chain support, Cardano chain support. So you can see the multi-chain and where they're going with it and the plan to get there. Polkadot chain support. The Troller Museum VR integrations. That'll be pretty cool. I'm all for VR. It's pretty cool technology. And a lot of people have adopted that at this point. That's pretty much it for their roadmap. Now for the really exciting stuff, the tokenomics. So again, 1 quadrillion is their total supply, 2% burn, 2% liquidity, 2% holders, and 1% to marketing. That's not too bad of a fee for buying and selling. Some other cool aspects of their particular token is it's going to be the governance token. If you actually do buy NFTs on the platform, you get a 20% discount, which is pretty cool. You'll get BNB and BUSD rewards from the NFTs and the merch sales. And again, the 2% of each transaction gets burned, 100% of NFT applications get burned. So it's going to be interesting to monitor the burn wallet and see exactly how quickly it grows. And then you can see their actual token distribution for launch and their launch breakdown. They did do a private sale and pre-sale information. So for the white paper, we're not going to spend a lot of time here just because it's a lot of the exact same information that was already contained on their website. But I want to take a look at their table of contents. And again, it kind of shows what I just said. It goes through almost the exact same stuff from their website, which is fine. That's exactly what a white paper is supposed to do. And your website really should include most of the information from your white paper. That way people don't have to go to it. Now you can add more detail and that kind of stuff. And that's what they do here. They do add more detail from the website. A lot of it is the exact same information, but they do add things here and there to clarify certain aspects. And that's really what you want to do with the white paper, is clarify anything that wasn't going to be completely clear on a short snippet on a website. Now here I want to emphasize the About Us. Our dream team is made of blockchain experts, NFT artists, growth hackers, marketing and sales, entertainment enthusiasts, art directors, creative graphic designers, and musicians. We are all from different backgrounds. Our head office is in Dubai, but most of the teams are located in different parts of the world. Most important thing is that we share the same goals and we will work together until we achieve them, resulting in Troller being in the #1 spot among the meme coin category. And it really emphasizes the qualifications of this particular team. Now the competition Vote and Earn, and to my knowledge this is the only vote to earn system that I've ever heard of. Now it does have some caveats. You have to vote in every single one of them and you can't miss any in order to earn, but if you're going to be able to do that, then this is a great option. It'll be interesting to see how the earn compares to play to earn, right? Because play to earn you can make pretty good tokenomics. I don't suspect you're going to be able to get the same kind of tokenomics from vote to earn just because there's just not as many things going on. But it'll be interesting to see how they two compare. That's one thing I think that over time they might benefit from putting on their website, is to say this is how much people are getting for vote to earn in comparison to play to earn. And if it's more or comparable, that'll answer that question for potential investors. Now I skipped the museum on the website because I was going to cover it here. The 3D environment. I like the idea. It's pretty cool that they're going to have all the winners essentially in the museum. Top 3 winners, it will be in a 3D environment. Separate rooms for each competition NFT, so you can see the groupings all together. And then down the road they're going to have the VR integration. Again, I mentioned that already, but I think that's a great idea. I haven't seen anybody try to integrate VR, so that's why I'm going to emphasize that here. So, and this is kind of why I wanted to put it here, was kind of the visual of what this would look like on the website when you click in there. And if you look at it from a VR perspective, what that might look like. And that's a cool integration feature. That's unique to everybody else that I've ever seen. Maybe there's a project in the 12 to 13,000 projects that are out there that have something like that. I just haven't seen it anywhere else. And I haven't seen all 12,000 projects, full disclosure. And then I wanted to emphasize the multi-chain support. I love the idea that they're going to have cross-chain support. Those are great options. They're going to be holding off for Ethereum 2.0, which makes sense. I wouldn't want to launch on the Ethereum network the way it is right now, especially with the gas fees they are. But it doesn't make sense to do it until after the new version 2 blockchain is up and running. But I love the idea of doing blockchain support. I hope that they plan to expand beyond just these though, and include Solana and all, quite a few other blockchains that are really have a lot of potential. 11.0 is another great one out there. Hopefully they will integrate in those blockchains as well. That was pretty much everything for their website and for their white paper, but I did want to cover one thing. If we go all the way to the bottom here, you'll notice they have a contact option, and a lot of tokens don't have that. So that by itself is, again, another step in the right direction for most of these tokens that are launching. Have a way to contact them. That way, if there's a question, if there's a problem, and I don't know how many emails they get. I assume once this project really takes off, it's going to be a lot. But at that point, they're probably making decent revenue as well, so they can probably afford the contact support team. So I like that. That's a great option. Now for LunarCrush, it's here, but as you can see, there's an error getting the data. It could be because it's such a new token. Maybe they're still building everything in, but I've been getting this a lot more since they redesigned their interface. and I'm not sure what's going on. I've tried a couple different browsers. I've also tried logging in, and I get the same problem regardless. So it's something with LunarCrush, and that's unfortunate because that's going to affect the overall score, and it doesn't really need to if I could see the score because it's in there. But it is what it is, and I will do an update down the road, and if there is a LunarCrush score at that point, I'll put it in, and we'll see what the difference is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the price. So as you can see, we're at 7014381 for the price, and if we scroll down, I've got it set for 7-day because it's only about a week old. It's a fairly new token. And you can see the price has been pretty stable. We're a little bit low from launch, but that's pretty normal. And these kind of fluctuations, actually this is pretty stable for a launch coin. It's the volume is, as you can see, decreasing quite a bit from 2 days ago, but that's also fairly normal. Again, this is a new project. It doesn't have a lot of YouTube content out there, so there's not a lot of people seeing it on YouTube. They do have a lot of influencers. I don't track influencers. Maybe they're not getting the information out there, or maybe they're not fully on board or signed in. But we haven't seen a large increase. But if we look at the holders, you can see that we're at 9,961, which is actually not too bad for under a week, or right around a week that it's been there. The most charts, they don't get them on CoinGecko, and they don't get them on CoinMarketCap on the same day they launch. So the charts are never going to go back further than when it was added to the system. That's the unfortunate thing about new tokens, is you're not necessarily going to see what happened on launch day on the big places to go look at this stuff. Now, if you access this from CoinMarketCap and you see over here that all the quantities are 0, you just need to click the token right around here on that particular page, and then you'll get to this portion of it and see the actual information. I don't know why CoinMarketCap's taking you to the wrong section, but you want to be in this area. Alright, so how'd they do? And you can see the score's not the greatest. But let me preface this and say it's a brand new token. It doesn't have a security audit complete on their website that I could find, and I couldn't find one using Google to look for it. So for the purposes of this, it doesn't exist. If they update the website, that's likely to increase the score by a significant amount. Most tokens, when they first launch, have been getting better about getting high scores, so there's no reason to assume that they wouldn't get like in the maybe the 90s. But there have been a lot of tokens that have launched with 50s, 60s, and 70s. So it's hard to say what they're going to get until we see the actual audit. It's just, that's how this process works for a brand new token. Ones that have been around for a little bit longer generally do a little bit better. But that is not saying that this is not a good investment. That has nothing to do with that. What the F, or what the letter grade is indicating, is the level of risk. So pretty high risk with an F. That's significant. And the reason why is, how do you know that you're not going to get rug pulled? How do you know that the token's not going to have its liquidity drained? How do you know that your investment is secure if it doesn't have a completed audit? That's a big security concern, and that's not FUD, that's just reality. You don't have anything that says that this token passed a security audit. So that should get your spidey sense going. Hey, this is a high risk. Maybe I don't want to throw $100,000 in this particular project. If you had $100,000, there are people that do that. There was a SafeMoon, they called them SafeMoon Whale, that put just under $100,000 or just over $100,000 on SafeMoon right when it launched, and he ended up being a millionaire. And there are people that do that. And if you take that kind of risk on a project that either isn't doxed or doesn't have a security audit, you're taking a high risk. Now, this particular project is doxed, so their reputations are on the line. And that counts for something, but when you don't have a security audit, and the added portion of the Galaxy score is really, those two things really bring this project down. Because if they had those two things, it's probably going to be in the vicinity of a C for your risk management. So you have to wait. How much does the security audit matter? And I'm not saying, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you not to invest in this token, because I think it's actually got some great fundamentals to it. It's got a great use case. It's unique. It's got certain aspects that don't exist elsewhere. So there's some positives to this project. You just got to be aware of the risk. And that's what this is saying. I get a lot of comments that say, this is the best thing since sliced bread. How'd you give it an F? Well, this is an indicator of the risk associated with the token. That's why. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody on how this works. Now let's go through this in depth here. So I like the website. I like the video. It's a little longer than your average intro video, but it gets the information out there for people that are visual learners. If people, right now, Gen Z is a big visual learner. They grew up on phones and tablets and computer screens and YouTube videos for everything from how to cook eggs to how to install a transmission into a vehicle. So they are the generation of how-to videos. Whereas my generation read a lot of books. So to each their own. But it's visually appealing. And for somebody that likes to watch the YouTube videos and get a good explanation, they've got that on there. And it does a really good job of it. I didn't see any spelling errors. I did see quite a bit of grammar type stuff, but some of it is style. And again, if you're looking at the younger population, they're probably not even going to notice. But my generation's probably going to notice. And I don't know that we've got the right, I don't know that the website has the right happy medium between the two. But I guess time will tell on how that works out. Again, the spelling and the grammar, 2 points. It doesn't mean a lot, but if people have trouble going through the data or the information that's on the website, that could impact the ability to get more investors. So that's why I put it on there. It's relevant. You might only lose 2%, but that's 2% of investors that you could have had. I don't know. Website errors, I didn't see any. Teams definitely listed. Contact method, yes, which a lot of them don't have that. Security audit, no. And that also doubles it up. Again, I weight security really weight security as part of this process. Price is listed, yes. Market cap, yes. How to buy information, no. Now, if you're watching my channel for the first time, how to buy information means how do I buy? Not the buy button to go to PancakeSwap and DEX tools. And what was interesting on theirs is the ability to buy with a credit card was listed there. I don't know if I don't remember if I emphasized that, but that's a great option. So that's pretty cool that they're going to try to do that as well, because that will significantly simplify the process. But if you have gone to this website and this is the first time you've ever gone to a crypto website and you want to buy, you don't know what a crypto wallet is potentially. You have no idea what PancakeSwap is. You have no idea what slippage fees are. You're kind of clueless as a crypto newbie. So you need to put how-to videos. You've got your own dedicated YouTube channel for this particular coin. Use it to actually walk people through how to set the stuff up. What's the wallet that you recommend? Is it Trust Wallet? Is it MetaMask? You pick what you think is the best wallet for your coin and do a how-to video. Or put a link to somebody else that does a how-to video for how to buy the Troller coin. That's really what I'm talking about with the how-to video, is those people that have never done anything, because we've all been that. We've all been that crypto newbie. And we all remember how frustrating it was to figure this stuff out. And for a centralized exchange, why do I have to send my social security number and a picture of my ID and I have to take a picture of myself? What on earth am I doing? I feel like I'm going to get robbed here. And the KYC process is a very unique and new requirement for somebody that's in the crypto space that they may not understand the purpose of. Because I sure didn't. But I also did a lot more stuff on DEXs than SEXs. So audit score, again, that's one of the reasons why the F is there, is for the amount of points dedicated strictly to security. Roadmap, yes, it's current, it's unique, no spelling issues, there's no grammar issues. There's some weird style issues, but those aren't necessarily grammar. White paper, yes. Current, yes. Unique, yes. Spelling, no. Yes, there's some grammar errors in there, and it's not just style stuff. Development team is known. Professional team, yes. They have their coin, and that's pretty much it right now. But they will have some other stuff coming in the future. and that will obviously change the score. Clearly, this token is designed to work with NFTs, and they mentioned games. So that is coming, and that will increase their score as well. Holder strength, they had 9,961 people. And again, if you're new to these videos, the percentage is 0 because the baseline is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got a lot of holders, so it's really hard to be competitive with Bitcoin. But every project that I review has that particular issue, so the scores factor that in. There's got a pretty good size range for A and a pretty good size range for B. And then everything else, really the impactors for this particular thing generally is the audit score, and then whether the team is doxxed. Galaxy score can also have a big influence because a meme token specifically relies on most of the metrics that are being tracked in the Galaxy score. And I highly encourage you to go take a look at that on LunarCrush if it's working. That way you understand exactly what's being encapsulated on there. But I'm really double tapping a couple aspects because the Galaxy score does include some of this information as well. So it's almost double counting those points, but they're not a lot of points. And I think that's appropriate for most of these tokens because they rely on influencers and on the community is a big aspect. So how many YouTube channels are out there? How many active people are on Twitter? How many people have added things to watch lists? Those are all relevant things for judging the size of a community. Yes, they have Twitter. No, they don't have Discord. And as far as their target audience, you're targeting a very specific thing, NFT, but NFT is huge. It's a huge area because it really does capture all potential creative areas. So I see it as a 15 because you're still kind of focal down on NFTs, but you're really a large segment of the population. And I really think that people are going to like the idea of competition, and it gets their projects out there. So even if you don't win first, second, or third, you're getting exposure for your NFTs just by competing. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that see the value in doing that. So that's pretty much it for the review of this particular token. Again, I wouldn't necessarily let the letter grade dictate how you assess this one. Now, I'm not saying to go buy it, and I'm not saying not to go buy it. I'm just saying it's got a unique use case, which is why I mentioned it the other day as well, because it does. There's nothing else out there quite like it. And yes, it's got some detractors. Maybe the right answer is to wait until the security audit drops if that's important to you. Or maybe the answer is to invest a little bit now and then wait for the security audit to drop and then invest more. There's a whole bunch of different strategies you can take with tokens like this. I've invested in F tokens before. And I think I've showed some of the tabs I have in the bottom, and I used them for example on the intro video to this particular process. Red Shiba was something that got an F. It was a strong F. I think it was like under 100 points when I looked at that one. And I still put a couple dollars into it, but I didn't put $1,000 into it. I think I put 40, maybe $40 into it, and I ended up getting, I don't remember how many tokens I got, but it hasn't really gone anywhere, which is fine. Tokens don't always take off, but there's a whole bunch of issues with that particular project, way more issues than just not having a security audit. They had the token supply wrong, and there was incorrect links on their website, and there's just a whole bunch of issues that were red flags for that project. But at that particular time, what I was trying to do is I was trying to diversify my investment strategy a little bit, because I had seen so many tokens launch and then without rhyme or reason they just take off. So I invested in a couple different projects at one given time, something that was a little bit different and something that had different tokenomics. The interesting thing about Red Shiba was it had so many tokens. I think it was like 1 quintillion tokens, and it was the first one that I had encountered with that many tokens. So I decided, okay, that's different. I don't necessarily think that can go anywhere, but I'll put $40 on it. And it was on the BSC network, which was a good selling point because I didn't have to pay a crazy amount of money in fees. But there are tokens like that. Now, I can tell you, I'm not necessarily going to invest in this one right now, mainly because I don't have any money to invest in it, even if I wanted to. I've already exceeded my spending threshold for crypto this month. Maybe I'll reevaluate next month, depending on other things that pop up or things that I've got planned already for next month. There's only so many crypto projects you can invest in a given month. That's just the reality. There's only so much money to go around. And with my desire to try to do some of the video here using different tokens, I have to plan for those as well. So there just isn't as much money to put into projects like this right now. Hopefully you found this content helpful. Let me know in the comments. Are you planning on buying the Triller coin? Or what do you think about the Triller coin? I'm curious. What does everybody think? I do apologize for the length of this video. It is way longer than I wanted it to be, but there was a lot going on this website. And to kind of refresh what this one has, it's an NFT competition with vote to earn, e-commerce, multi-chain support. The museum features cool, especially with the integration of the VR. Several ways to earn passive income and several ways to burn, which I'm really curious about. And the liquidity is locked. So you really should be safe from a rug pull provided there's no issues in the contract. And with 1 quadrillion tokens and those burn mechanisms, this is an interesting token to keep an eye on. If you like this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications so you get notified when I publish new content. Until next time, stay strong with those diamonds. Crypto Newbie here to tell you how you can get $2,340 in free stocks. All the links I use in this video are in the description. Sign up for Webull and get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Your first stock is free automatically. Deposit any amount and you get your second stock. Deposit 1 penny and you get your second stock. Total value could be up to $2,300. Generally $5 per stock is what you get. Next we have block fee. Get $10 in Bitcoin just for signing up. Read the fine print. I've got a rewards account. You'll get $40 in Bitcoin, as will I. So you know exactly what I'm going to get and what you're going to get. You do need to deposit $100 to get your $40 in Bitcoin. That's the overview how to get $2,340 just by signing up for accounts.